How are the kids going back at school?
Uh, the kids are going pretty well. I just got a message just before we got on here saying that the electricity is going off between 9 and 5, like a planned power outage on the
Oh,
on the 8th. So that will be when I have 12 little
oh, that's the
12-year-olds.
birthday party.
Yeah. So that's
Oh,
excellent. And I will have to think about what I'm going to do. So excellent.
get out the old stereo and put some batteries in it.
Oh my goodness. How's the
Wow.
cupcake making going?
Oh, yeah, good. Thank you. I did a trial batch that you might have seen. They were delicious. Recipe Tin
Oh.
Eats
Oh yeah,
has such
classic.
great
Love
recipes.
recipe
Yeah,
needs.
they're cute. So I'm going to make 100 mini cupcakes on Saturday for the party on Sunday.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah, lovely.
yum.
Good morning, Sally.
Good morning, Siona.
How are we?
I'm good, thank you.
It's not,
How are
I mean,
you?
yeah, I'm good. And
Mm,
because it's summer
mm,
here in Melbourne, Australia, but is
mm.
it really summer?
I know. Well, it's
Like,
ridiculous.
it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm not complaining because today is lovely. Like, I'm
Yes.
loving the weather. Like, it's
Yep. Bit
mild and
milder.
yeah,
Yep.
it's lovely. But it is, yeah, it's a bit of a shit show. It's
It was
weird.
like lava yesterday and then cool and refreshing in the morning. I
I
might need a
know.
jacket
I
kind of weather.
know. Anyway, let's not be those people that
No,
discuss
I'm not
weather,
talking about the weather.
but
Well, you know what? I would like to start today's podcast episode with a very bold statement.
oh, please,
Tell me
please
what you
do.
think.
Okay.
I think it's safe to say that
Yes.
everybody would expect friendships to change and evolve over the course of a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
So, you think you've got younger children and I've got the teenage children. But you think about that. I was thinking about this morning, the kindergarten friends and how just
Yes.
delightful they are. And you have hopes and dreams that maybe my child will have this friend as the bestie for
Oh,
the
yes,
rest
you
of their
do.
lives.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they go to primary school and the bestie goes somewhere else. And then you probably never hear from them again. They're still
Yeah.
really great people, but oh well, we have
Yeah.
to live. And then we have the primary school friends, and they're fantastic. And some of them might come to high school,
Mhm.
and that's fantastic. And then, you find some different friendship groups, and then you change it up. And then you're off to uni and you have to work and whatever.
Yes.
But friendships evolve and change naturally for everybody on the planet. Yes.
Yes. Fair. I agree
Yes.
with that.
Fantastic. But what have we noticed about people with chronic health conditions and friendships?
Ah, well, and just in case anyone didn't realize, we are talking about friendships today.
We are.
We are talking about friendships. Well, what we do notice in the chronic health space is that often people perceive that their friendships can die off, that there can be
Yes.
this, I call it this almost silent heartbreak because it can happen quite quietly,
Yeah.
where friendships can
Mm,
disappear.
mm.
Now, what we're going to touch on today is like this is a regular theme that I see clinically that's brought up.
Yep.
So it's something that we, and I imagine you talk about as well with a lot of
Yeah.
clients.
All the time.
Yeah, so it's a really important one for us to discuss because absolutely being diagnosed with a chronic health condition,
Yeah.
having changes in your body, in your cognition can change your friendships.
Yes.
But sometimes they can also be perceived changes, and
Yeah.
sometimes it can be the natural ebb and flow of relationships, which is to your point.
Exactly. So it's a whole mixed bag
It
of
is.
topics around friendships and how to navigate that when you have been diagnosed with the chronic health condition or if you're living with the ramifications of a chronic health
Yeah,
condition. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, I would say that we take friendships for granted until
Yeah.
something disrupts them. We just have the people in our life, we fall into patterns with them,
Yep.
and we just assume they'll be there. And what's that saying that I a little bit like roll my eyes at, but also a little bit love? It's like there's friends that are there for a reason, a season, or a
Oh,
lifetime.
yes, it's
Yeah,
so
I think there's a
true.
Justin Bieber song about that, but we
Yeah.
won't discuss that, whatever.
Oh, I'd like
Um,
you to lay down a few lines of that.
no, I can't.
Okay.
But that's
Um,
again to your point that we do have friends who are
yes.
because of a workplace or
Yep.
because at school, and then there's
Yep.
friends who have traveled many of the seasons with us, and
Yes.
hopefully we'll continue to travel those seasons. But there's
Yeah.
no guarantees, and we do not know.
No, and I really like bringing that to attention at the start of the podcast because I think we're often also socially programmed to think that once you're friends with someone, they must be a friend for life.
Yeah.
And if that friendship changes in any way for any reason,
Mm.
then often people think of it as that's a failure on my behalf or
Yes.
that person's an absolute bitch because
Oh,
where are they now?
I'm so glad you said that.
Mm.
100%. It is just really black and white kind of.
Mm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I also want to really acknowledge that friendships take work and they are
Oh,
built
yeah.
over years.
Mm.
I think I've said this
Mm.
before on a podcast, but I read a book on friendship a few years back, and it was
Yeah.
specifically on adult friendship. It was really interesting because a lot of it was about a numbers game. So it was around the amount of time that it takes to know somebody,
Right.
from where they go from acquaintance to close to friend to close
Ah.
friend. So I wrote them down so I could remember
Okay,
them.
good.
But so from acquaintance to a casual friend is
Oh.
50 hours of shared time.
Okay, hang on. Let me just process that. 50 hours.
Which doesn't sound like much, but if you're doing a 2 hour coffee, you meet, and then you've got
Yeah.
to do another two. Like, so from an
Yep.
acquaintance to a casual
Okay.
friend to a friend, someone that you're going to text, you're going to catch up,
Yes.
90
Yes.
hours.
90.
Yeah.
Is this
And then,
research or this is
yeah,
you
no,
making up?
no,
Okay.
yeah, I did my own qualitative
Your
case
own
study.
research
No,
with your friends.
this is actual research. And then
Okay.
200 hours, around
A
200
close
hours to become a
friend.
close friend. Now, this is really easy
Mm.
to get when you're younger. You think about school, you've clocked that up.
You're there all
Like,
the time sitting next to them.
correct. That's why friendships form so quickly. And the same
Yes.
with workplaces. Like, you've got to, people will be like,
Yes.
it's my work wifey, my work
Yes,
bestie.
absolutely.
I've always had a couple of people at work where I'm really close with really
Yeah,
quickly because you're
because you sit
seeing
in the
them.
pod next to them.
Correct. And you're
Yep.
chatting all day.
Yep.
So, chronic illness, when there's a change,
Mm.
chronic illness can reduce that spontaneous contact. If people aren't
Yes.
working as much, if there
Yes.
isn't the shared activities, if you're not
Yep.
doing as many of the hours,
Yep.
if there isn't that frequency. So,
Yes.
it can explain, and we'll touch on this a little bit later, but it can explain why it can be hard to maintain old friendships, to keep the
Yes.
hours.
Yep.
But also, this is the part that can feel really distressing, is that it can feel hard to form new ones.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And while we are talking specifically people with chronic health conditions, this also applies to any adult out there.
Absolutely. It's hard.
It's really hard because of
Yeah.
exactly what you've said. You're not sitting in a classroom with them all day.
Correct.
And it's why it's very interesting for me when I reflect on my soccer friendships with my son playing soccer, is that it is absolutely that. The more time you spend with each other, which you do when you're standing on the sidelines watching the game,
Correct.
you see those friendships develop. You go from that casual acquaintance to a bit more of a casual friend, and then through to a friend, and then maybe a close friend over the years and years and years of watching soccer together.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
How lovely.
I know. It's interesting, isn't
Way
it?
to frame the start. Well done,
Yes.
Fiona. I like
Oh,
it.
thank you.
Yeah, very
So
interesting.
let's talk about what friendship or what friends can look like. And so sort
Yeah.
of before and after, or before maybe
Yes.
versus after a diagnosis.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, before diagnosis, like we've said, it's about those shared activities. It's about the spontaneous plans that you have
Yes.
with your friends, your acquaintances, everyone you have in your
Yes.
life. And it's also about the reciprocity. So
Yes.
it's like, I'm going to say to you, hey, let's go out for brunch. And the next time you'll say to me, hey, I'll see you next Wednesday at that thing we've got on. Great.
Yep.
And we don't really think about it before
No.
being diagnosed with a chronic health condition. Is that a true statement? We think less about it.
I would say we think less about it. I think there's some friendships that you probably have to work a little bit harder for, but then there's, for those who are lucky enough to have those ones where you just don't have to, it's this real ease of
just
like you
ease of
said.
communication,
Yep.
ease of following through. You just make plans and you do them. What's the problem?
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. What about after diagnosis?
Well, yes, that's right. And then after diagnosis, there might be cancellations. I mean, a lot of people who live with chronic health conditions, fatigue is a number one symptom,
It's a
an
huge
invisible
one, isn't
symptom
it?
that people, absolutely. With fatigue can come unpredictability. So not always necessarily being able to attend. And then that can lead to people overthinking or second guessing.
Yes.
And then that uncertainty. So that can feel really hard in a friendship that has, prior to diagnosis, been quite easy and been predictable.
Yes. And the illness can really change our availability.
Yeah.
It can change the way and the level at which we can participate.
Yes.
I always bang on about people loving barbecues in the middle of a park on a hot summer's day.
Yeah.
And maybe before the chronic health condition, you could participate in them all you want to, you know, with a big hat and some shade, hopefully, and some cold drinks. But after a chronic health condition, it is not just that simple to turn up and go for it in a park.
Absolutely. And the research really supports the idea that social support quality, and we've talked about this before, is really strongly linked to health outcomes.
Yes.
But chronic illness can alter our social networks and our perceived support. And that's really the perceived support. Like we want to touch on that because it's not always fact. Sometimes it can
Yes,
be how we perceive it to be.
correct. But I do like that this is demonstrated in the research as well, because we do see in the client work that we do, we see
Mm.
a bit of a shrinkage of social networks
Mm.
over time, sometimes due to a mismatch in expectations. So, what the
Yes.
person with the chronic health condition is looking for in friendship now.
Yes.
And sometimes the reverse, it's the people around us that
Hmm.
think differently about what we would want. And the ability to maintain patterns of interaction we've talked about. But yes, to your point, often it's around the perceived level of support. So the person with the chronic health condition may be thinking that everything has changed, maybe thinking that or perceiving that people are not going to be there for them. But
Mm.
it's a very interesting little package to unpack, isn't it, when
It
we're talking to
really
people?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we wanted to do this so people can
Yeah.
think a little bit more than that black and white thinking of they're an awful person or I've done
Yep.
something wrong and it's my fault.
Yep,
There's a
that's
whole
right.
bunch of gray in there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the way that we sometimes frame it with our clients around, have your plans shifted from doing things with your friends to being together in other
Yes.
ways? So the doing to
Yeah.
the being sometimes works really well for people with chronic health conditions.
Yep. Yeah,
You know, you don't always
absolutely.
have to be doing things to be engaged in a
Oh,
friendship.
correct. And if you think back,
Mm.
genuinely think back on friendships, most of the time you're not thinking about the things that you were physically doing together, whether you were going for a walk or going for a hike or running a marathon. I don't know how many
Yeah,
people do that
all
with their
those
friends,
things.
but
Yeah.
all those things. But it's usually about the conversations, the
It's
laughter, the
always about the conversations
yeah,
for
like
me
there,
and for
that's
you, I'm
yeah,
sure.
of
Yeah.
course, always for me, always
Yeah.
has been for
Yeah.
me.
That's right.
So yes, that's a,
Mm.
it's not a like it's not a toxic positivity lens. It's like a
Right.
genuine like
Yes.
let's illuminate the actual parts of the being and
Yeah.
what's important
Being
about those.
together.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
Communicating, connecting. Yeah.
Yes. I think what's really important, and
Yep.
again, this isn't about toxic positivity, but
Mm.
this is real and genuine that some friendships after a chronic health diagnosis deepen.
I do love the fact that you introduced that with this is not toxic positivity, because it's a funny one, isn't it? It's
It
one
is.
where we go, oh, like we don't want to say, don't worry, chronic health condition, all the silver linings, like your friendships will actually get better.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
we don't
that's
want to
right.
say
That'll be so
that.
amazing. Like everyone will come out the woodwork and they'll just have these deeper connected.
Yeah.
No, that's not always the case, but it absolutely can be with some people in your life.
It can, because you can be put in a position, I guess, where you might choose to, and we encourage you to choose
Mm.
to open up that side of you a little, have a little bit of that emotional vulnerability with the close friends in your life
Yes.
and see what happens. Not all of them are going to run to the hills.
Correct.
Some of them will actually be able to sit with you in that deeper, more connected
Yeah.
space and hold space for your vulnerability.
Absolutely. Shared vulnerability deepens connection. We know, like, when we
Yeah.
see the real human messiness,
Yep.
I really like the real human messiness. It makes me gravitate to someone more in a personal context.
Yep.
I just feel like they're more authentic. I
Yes.
know, but that's me. And that
Yes.
is also a lot of people. So
Yep. That's
there are
right.
people who will like exactly, I'm just repeating what you said, but who will really value that.
Yep. And there will be some people, and we've all been there, where you bring
Mm.
up a hint of vulnerability and you can see them stiffen and they're like, I feel very uncomfortable in
They're
this
the Homer
space.
Simpson. They're the
Yeah.
Homer Simpson of the hedge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I can't.
Yeah,
And
I'm out.
sure, there are absolutely people out there like that. But often we like hearing from clients who are actually surprised that
Mm.
a friend stopped and listened. They really wanted to hear the experience of the person with the chronic health
Yes.
condition. And often, but not in a competitive way, often they will end up volunteering something vulnerable about themselves or
Mm.
how they're feeling about something that's difficult. So it just builds that connection.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm. I think it's interesting when we think about how friendships can deepen and how sometimes it is that reciprocity that we can see demonstrated between friends,
Mhm.
where we see people supporting those with chronic health conditions, really listening, really checking in, remembering preferences is a big one.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
it's my classic example of, oh, yeah, we all want to go out for dinner one night. And then one of your friends says, actually, I think Siona would probably prefer a lunch.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
and doesn't have to say, because remember, she has that condition and her
Yes.
fatigue will be, but they just say, oh, yeah, well, then let's flip it to a lunch. It's that,
Oh yeah, I've got a great example of that. I
yeah.
had a friend who would always like earlier after my diagnosis, and I hate stairs. Like I can climb stairs, but I
Mm,
hate them. And
mm.
one of my friends for years, and still does, she doesn't live in Melbourne anymore, but when we would go out for dinner, she would always say to other people, "Oh no, the stairs. We're not going somewhere with double
The
story or with
stairs.
stairs." wasn't like a big, let me just explain
Yeah.
why.
Because of Siona, we're not
Yeah,
having stairs. Yeah.
it was just a lens that she had, and it was so, so appreciated.
Oh,
And it was just done really quietly.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just aware that she did it. I loved it. And it was
And it's
just, yeah.
interesting. I really love that because you would be the first person, I think, to say, I can do stairs. It'll be fine.
Oh, yeah,
Like
of
you would
course.
have
I don't
just,
want to, yeah, I don't want to cause a fuss.
no.
I'll just do the stairs. Who
But
cares if
how
I fall down them?
lovely to
Whatever,
hear
it's fine.
somebody that just
Yeah,
vocalizes such a small, insignificant detail because
yeah.
nobody else cares if there's stairs or not.
No, that's right.
So
Exactly.
let's just choose a place without stairs.
Yeah.
How wonderful. I love that.
Yes.
It's sometimes it could be a good opportunity for your friends to demonstrate curiosity about you and to
Yes.
just be genuinely interested in how you're viewing the world now, what
Yeah,
makes your world
absolutely.
easier or more difficult. And they're
Mm.
interested in that. So
Yes.
that's a nice way that friendships can deepen.
It goes a long way, doesn't it?
Mm. Hmm. I remember after we started this podcast, actually,
Hmm.
I was having dinner with a group of friends. And I think because we had started the podcast,
Yes.
I mean, I like to think that they would always ask me any questions anyway about MS if they wanted to, but I think that because we'd started the podcast, they were like, oh, maybe we could ask Sally a few more questions
Oh,
because there was this kind
interesting.
of flag of, well, obviously you're talking about it publicly, so you
Yes.
won't feel bad if we ask you, or we won't feel bad to ask. And I thought that
Yes.
was really probably because of the invisibility of it. People
Yes.
feel like they don't want to make a fuss, they don't want to bring it up. And
Mm-hmm.
that's everybody's experience, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, and I've talked on the pod before. I had a similar experience. Friends
Mm.
were like, "Oh, I learned more on the podcast than you've ever." Like,
Yes.
actually, these are friends that I catch up for dinner all the time,
Yes.
and I'm like, "Oh, I just don't think
Oh,
to
to
go
tell
into
you, but ask me and I'll tell you.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right,
Yeah.
exactly."
Yeah. It's
So
interesting.
while we talk about how
Mm.
there absolutely it's possible for friendships to deepen,
Mm.
of course, we must touch on why friendships do fade because they do. Friendships absolutely can fade when you get diagnosed with a
Yep.
chronic health condition.
Yep.
And I think straight out the gates, one of the biggest ones is it's that uncertainty and not knowing what to say. And it's uncomfortable. I say it time and time again. We don't deal very well with chronic health conditions. We don't know
Yeah.
what to say.
Yep.
That can lead to inaction. It can lead to just this quiet fade.
Yep. People
Yeah.
do not want to pry.
No.
Or they feel like, oh, that's none of my business. Like
Yeah.
they might ask you every detail about your relationship before you've had a chronic health
Oh.
condition. They might ask for all the gossip about
Hmm.
everything. But as
Yep.
soon as it's health related matter, oh, I don't want to bring that up.
Yeah,
And that
absolutely.
can feel so uncomfortable, like the elephant in the room.
Yes.
Look, and people can not do, some people can find it really difficult if the person with the chronic health condition is all of a sudden cancelling a little bit more frequently
Hmm.
or pulling out of plans or not wanting to make plans so far ahead or not wanting to make plans in summer or whatever it is. And maybe there's no visible reason. So we're touching back on those
Hmm.
invisible symptoms.
Yes.
So to our friends, that might actually feel hurtful. They might
Yeah,
feel like, oh, have I done something wrong? Like,
absolutely.
why does she keep canceling? Or is she trying to send me a message that she doesn't want to catch up?
Yes.
And so maybe that's something we need to reflect back on. Of course, you and I are talking all the time about how important communication is and how we
Mm,
send our messages around our chronic health conditions.
yes.
But it does put the onus on the person with the chronic health condition to be really open with their communication. Sometimes that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. But they can't
Uh,
read our minds, can they?
no, correct. That
Yeah.
needs to be one of our,
Yeah.
that needs to be on a t-shirt
On
as
a
well.
t-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Got a few things for the t-shirt. I think
Mm-hmm.
illness can, or a diagnosis can also highlight the mismatches in
Yeah.
friends,
Yeah.
emotional styles or expectations or
Mm.
capacity.
Mm.
And I also want to say, like
Mm.
when you were saying before about, friends could be hurt by, you canceling plans, and we can be hurt by friends perceived to be ending the relationship, but it's not always personal. Like,
That's right.
and it's not, friends don't always
Mm.
disappear because they don't care or
Correct.
because they're uncomfortable.
Yep.
I want to give an example. This is quite a
Mm.
personal one for me, but I had a good friendship sort of change, I would say,
Yep.
over the last few years, maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
And I had assumed that was something to do with my condition, disability.
Mhm.
I don't even really know why I thought that, but I just took it so personally. And,
Right.
breakups with friends,
Yeah.
friendships fading are so distressing, just like the end of a romantic
Yeah.
relationship, but not
Yes.
certainly not touched on.
But like you
Certainly
said before,
not.
it's kind of silent. It's a
It's
silent
silent.
fading
No
out.
one, yeah,
Yeah. No one's breaking up.
no one's coming to you and sitting with you while you're crying, going, "Oh, it's so
Yeah.
hard," and you there's other fish in the sea, and
Yeah,
you'll be
that's
okay.
right.
No one's doing that.
Yes.
But I had this kind of core belief of maybe I was too much, or
Mm.
and this friend's life was seemingly like everything was going perfectly well.
Right.
Anyway,
Yep.
so it just sort of quietly slipped away.
Yeah.
But, with clarity, with hindsight, I was really able to see that there was a bit of a mismatch in terms of
Right.
our value set, and it wasn't
Uh-huh.
personal. We had
Right.
grown and changed, and my lens on the
Yes.
world was really different
Yes.
because of the work that I do, because of my lived experience. And
Yes.
theirs was, I'm not saying more narrow, certainly not, but very different to
Right.
mine.
Yep.
And I think when you live with difference in some way, your
Mm.
life is different. The
Mm.
lens that you have on the world is different. And
Yep.
that doesn't mean better or worse, it's just
No.
different.
And it doesn't
And
mean that somebody's done something wrong.
correct.
Right.
That's right. So
Yeah.
while I had assumed this person may travel all the seasons with me,
Right.
I just realized that we no longer aligned in that way in the friendship.
Yeah.
Did that take a while? Oh, certainly. And was there many tears? Absolutely. And so there's still so much grief in it. But it
Right.
was a really, really important lesson for me to go, this isn't personal.
Yeah. Yes.
This is not because of a condition or a disability or
Yep.
the way I'm living my
Yep.
life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or how she sees you or values you as a
Yeah,
person.
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because now we're coming back to the lyrics of the Justin Bieber song, if that is right,
Oh,
but it's
I
the
think
reason,
it's
the
right.
season, the lifetime.
Yes.
And do you think that maybe she had a natural recognition that that season was coming to a close before you did,
I don't know. We
but
never
maybe not
really,
in a verbal, or a cognitive, like maybe not so, I don't know, acutely, but just a sense. Who
yeah,
knows? We don't
maybe,
know.
who knows? And I mean, often,
Mhm.
well, that's the thing I think about friendships that end. We don't
Yep.
get the closure that we do.
Yes, that's
Not
right.
that we always get in romantic relationships, but I think we
No,
demand it more, don't we? Like
we
we
do.
want to know
Well,
what did it
somebody
work out.
literally breaks up with somebody else, whereas
Correct.
with
Yeah,
the
it's
friendships,
more.
it's not. It's insipid. They kind of fade
Oh,
away, or
it
they
is
don't respond to
insipid.
calls, or you
Oh,
just there are
it's gross,
excuses.
really. We need to change the legislation around it's legislation. We need to change something around breakups of
I'll
friendship.
call the Prime Minister,
Please
and
do.
we'll
Please
discuss
do.
it.
I just
Yeah,
want, like, you want clarity, right? Is this
you want
ending? Please
clarity.
let me know.
It's
Yeah.
super interesting, and I'm so glad that you gave everybody that example because everybody, as you were speaking, Siona, is thinking about a friendship that has just slowly faded away, and
Yes.
whether they have been the one that has maybe been more active in not keeping up the
Mm.
relationship, or whether they've been the one that has noticed the absence of that relationship
Yes.
continuing. Everybody's been there, and it's so nice, I think, to have a discussion about it. Finally, we
We
never
never
discuss
we
this.
never discuss it. We
But
never
it's nice to have a discussion about the fact that it can just be a friendship that has had its season.
Yeah.
And we don't have to blame anyone. You could feel hurt, but I
Yes.
really appreciate you saying, like, you're not saying that she did anything wrong. But yes, you felt hurt and you felt a bit misunderstood, or you kind of questioned
Yes.
your own, like, why is this happening?
Mm.
But over time, you can say, oh, okay, that was just the end of that for us.
Yeah, and I think it gives you the perspective to go, I can still, I mean, I know this sounds a bit woo-woo, but I can
Mhm.
still honor it and still
Yeah.
love this
Yes.
person in a
Yeah.
different way now, and from
Yes.
maybe from afar, not in the way
Yeah.
that it was. I just have to tell you this funny story because
Mm.
it just came to my
Yeah.
mind. When my sister, like in her early 20s, when she broke up with someone,
Mhm.
she just wanted real clarity. And I
Mhm.
love this about her. She actually put together a questionnaire and gave it to him with tick
Great.
boxes.
Oh, great. Can you give
Like
me some examples?
it was like something
Oh
about
my
now that we're
God.
broken up, do we no contact? Do we
Right.
speak occasionally? Tick box,
Great.
once every
I
just
love that.
full
Expectations.
full like A4 sheet of like answer my questionnaire so I have full clarity. She's a teacher and I just
I think that's
is
fantastic.
that not? And
Is
I've
there
thought
room for
about that over
comments
the
at the
years.
bottom where he could
I
make like
don't know
additional
if she had
comments?
comments, but it's wonderful. Are we not, should we not all just have these sort of sheets that we give to people in romantic relationships, but also in friendships?
In
Like,
friendships.
take this form, fill it out, and now I have full clarity.
That is so funny.
Is it not so funny?
You can imagine the response of the guy that got that form, or our friends, in fact, if we were to hand these forms out to
Yeah.
friends that we no longer see, and they'd be like, what is wrong with Sally? What's happening?
What's going on
Do we
here?
need to call someone about this?
But it's so good. I love
Right.
it. But I think we touched
Yep.
on this before. It's the, when the friendships end, it's the grief, but without the
Yeah.
rituals that we get
Yeah.
with the romantic relationships.
Yeah.
Because it's just as painful. It's just as
Yeah.
painful you losing a friendship as losing a romantic relationship.
It certainly is. It can be very painful. The
Mm.
self-talk that goes along with it is probably
Mhm.
one of the most painful aspects. And we
Yeah.
hear all sides, don't we? Or both ends of the spectrum. We hear like, she doesn't like me anymore because look, this chronic health condition has taken everything from me, and
Yeah.
I've like my
Yep.
worth as a human being has now plummeted. And then you hear the other end of the spectrum, which is what a bitch, excuse my language. I would
Yeah.
never have done this to her. She's
Yeah.
doing this because I've been diagnosed and she can't deal, and this is disgusting.
Yeah.
And probably the reality is somewhere in the middle, or actually not even on
Yes.
that spectrum. The
Yeah.
reality might be it's just the end of the season, honey. It's
Yeah.
not about you and
Correct.
your chronic health condition.
Not about you.
It's about
Not
the
always about you.
personalities, or it's about the
Right.
values, or it's about we
Yeah.
grow and evolve in life,
We
and
do.
we have reasons for friendships at different times.
Correct. And
Mm,
I think as you were talking, I was thinking
mm.
in some ways, the end of a friendship can almost be more painful than the end of a romantic relationship because we often feel more of a failure because it's seemingly easier
Mm.
to maintain friendships than it is.
Right.
We almost expect that you either end up with this person in a romantic
Yes.
or it doesn't work out. So if it doesn't work out,
Mm.
it's a common
Yep.
experience. You
Yep.
go through and this many people, and then hopefully you
Yep.
meet someone that you want to travel a
Yes.
few seasons with. But
Yep.
with friendships, it's kind of there's more of an expectation that if it hasn't worked out, you've done something wrong.
That's right. Because the expectation is also that you develop more and more friendships over your life, and you gather them and you never let them go.
Oh, who's got time for that?
Oh my gosh.
You've actually
That's a
people,
full-time job, which I would love, to be
correct.
honest. Just the socializing,
Just, I
all the
mean,
coffees and conversations.
well,
Yep.
yeah, actually, those all sound appealing, but like we just cannot do that. So
Yeah.
lower your expectations. You can't
Yes.
gather every single person that you've ever
No.
liked and you've got along with.
Yep.
You
You
can't
cannot make
put
them a
them.
lifetime friend.
No, when we've talked about social
Impossible.
connection, remember we have just the inner circle, then we have the next
Yes.
layer, and then
Yep.
we only have a few. So let's just take
Yep.
some pressure off
Yep.
ourselves.
Just calm
Yeah.
down, people.
Yes. Calm down.
Oh dear. Well, so how do we navigate changing friendships? Like we're talking about that. How do we actually cope with acknowledging that sometimes we say goodbye to friends? How
Yeah.
do we need to reframe everything?
Well, I mean, we have to acknowledge it. We have to
Mm,
name that it hurts, that it matters.
mm,
And we can do the reframe, just like you said
yep.
before. It's that relationships evolve, they
Yep.
don't fail, some
Yes.
change.
Yes.
Some are, Justin Bieber again, the reason
Yes.
season, lifetime, and
Is that
some
really
have
a to.
to.
song from him? I have to
I am
check.
so I'm gonna like
Anyway,
Google while you're
you'll have to
talking
Google it
there.
later. Okay.
But
Yeah.
I feel like if we can like lower the standards that some of the friends will just be for a season,
Yeah.
that's okay. Is it still
Yep.
sad? Absolutely.
Yes.
Not everybody is meant to travel all
Yes.
the chapters with you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's okay to have all the feelings about it, but it's also okay to um, find peace or come to an acceptance that that person has changed their
Yes.
friendship level with you. And
Yes.
that's okay for them to do that. They're allowed to do that for whatever reason, and you may never know the reason. And that's both uncomfortable, but also it's okay. So
Yeah.
we just, yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't get stuck on it. I guess that's what I want to say. I don't want people to waste
Yeah.
10 years being really, really bitter or angry at somebody who has decided for whatever reason
Yes.
to
Don't get
have
stuck.
less contact with you. Don't get
Yes.
stuck.
Don't get
Let them be
stuck.
them.
Yep, that's right. Let them be them. Acknowledge the grief in it.
Yeah,
Acknowledge the friends that have stayed, that have hopefully deepened,
yeah,
and the possibility for new friendships, which we
yes,
have also
yeah,
acknowledged can be tricky as an
yeah,
adult in general, an adult
yeah,
living with a chronic health condition,
yeah,
but
yeah,
very possible.
yeah. Great.
Can I just say I've Googled the
Oh,
lyrics
thank you.
and some people bring you a million blessings. Some people teach you a million lessons. Oh, this is
This is
deep.
gold.
All that I have learned, it wasn't my turn, it wasn't the right time. Some people come into your life for a reason, others they come in your life for a season, but baby, you are a lifetime.
And what song is this from?
This is his song called
Baby, baby,
Lifetime.
baby. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to have to
No,
listen to
this
that in the
is
car
2021. So
and
he's,
freak my children out. It's
well,
called
please,
Lifetime. I'm
Lifetime.
going to listen to that.
Yeah, so there we go. See,
Great.
reason, season, lifetime. Thank you, Bieber.
Thank you, Beebs.
Yeah.
He was on the Grammys the other night. Was it the
Was
Grammys?
he?
Anyway,
Oh,
I didn't see him. I
right.
just saw a promo for it. We do have to emphasize the fact that communication is key in all of the relationships we have with human
Always.
beings. Let's talk to them about our expectations or what works for us now or how we feel about them as a friend,
Yes.
the way they support us. Let's highlight all the amazing things about them
Yes.
and let's not keep them in the dark.
Yes. Let's not keep them in the dark.
Yep.
Good. So I think the key takeaways
Yes.
are really that friendships can change after diagnosis.
Yep.
That is okay.
Yes.
And just to a side point, friends
Yep.
can change in life,
Full
and that is
stop.
okay, full stop.
Correct. And they will. And we'll
Yes.
all be blindsided once, and we might
Yeah.
also do it to somebody else without really realizing it.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry.
And the loss is real, right? Like,
Yeah,
and it absolutely is necessary that we recognize that that loss is real, that
Yes.
we
It
name
can
that.
be really sad. Yep.
Yeah, really sad.
Mm.
But that friendships can deepen.
Yep.
They can, that is possible. They can shift, they can transform, or sadly, they can fade, like we said. But none of it reduces your worth. None of it is
No.
because you're not a valuable human being.
Correct. And what matters most, Siona,
Yes.
is that connection with other human beings where they meet you where you are.
Love it. Don't know if you
Yep.
can hear my clapping. Yep, good.
Thank you.
Perfect.
And
All
that's what we
right.
want. And we can help them with that by being a good friend and communicating
Yes.
and
I didn't
helping
even
them
touch on that, but
understand.
you be a good friend. Like we
Yeah,
talked about green flags
exactly.
before. You
And
go
be
be a good
curious
friend.
about them. Ask them about their
Of course.
experiences. And let's start that vulnerability, that sharing, I don't know, with the
The
right people.
You're with the right people. The vulnerability train, that sort of thing.
Vulnerability
Anyway,
train.
Sally, what are
Yes.
you looking forward to?
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, I'm looking forward to my 50th birthday party. That's happening this
That
weekend.
is so exciting.
It should be good. And I think the weather, oh, let me see. I think the weather's going to be kind of mild. So I don't know. If it's not 30, I'm happy, or not above 30. I think it's going
Oh,
to
what
be,
is the weather
look,
going to
it's
be?
going to be 28 and showers. But that's
Well,
okay. It's inside.
that's fine.
Fine.
Yeah, that's
28 is better than
fine.
46. I'll
Yes,
take it.
you take that.
Yeah.
You
What
take
about you?
that.
What are you looking forward to?
Well, I would very much be looking forward to attending your birthday,
Yeah, I know.
but
Sorry.
I have my son's birthday, so I am
Too.
attending that and feeling all the guilt of being, while we're talking about this, a very bad friend, but knowing that
Oh, no.
that we don't have to have our discussion on the knowing that I'm going to take you out for dinner and now I feel like a
Oh
better
my
friend about
gosh.
it. So that's
Oh
fine.
no, please. No guilt here. No
No,
guilt
there's
here.
no guilt because
No,
we're
no,
going out
no.
for dinner.
Oh,
But you just have to choose
yes,
your
thank you.
cuisine so
When?
I can book
Aren't
it.
you lovely? And gee, I think I can speak on behalf of all of our listeners, Siona, where I hope that while you're having your birthday party for the room or the house of 12-year-olds, that the electricity will be on for the vast majority of that time.
Yeah.
We are sending those thoughts out to the universe
Thank you.
on your behalf.
Thank you.
And
I
we look forward to
appreciate
the
that.
update next week. You
Oh
can tell
yes,
us.
and from yours too.
Fantastic.
Good to
Thank
see
you,
you, Sally. See
Fiona.
you next
Okay,
week.
bye.
Bye.